Hey there, I'm back. This is part 2. The last video I just kind of shared with you the background of what made me even consider eXp and kind of how I ended up there, because like I said, it was a little accidental. I wasn't really looking to move anywhere. I never thought I would leave my independent brokerage. So here I am 2 years later sharing the story with you, but I wanted to go into more detail about the reasons that made me start considering it in the first place, and then the one ultimate reason that was like my light bulb moment, like, yes, I'm doing this. So once I started doing my research, first thing I saw was, the 80-20 split, which I thought was pretty good, even though I was making 100%. But really, it was the Icon program that first intrigued me, because with my production, I knew that I could make Icon, which is where they give you back your $16,000 cap in the form of stock. So for me, that's about 32 sales based on my average sale price. And so I knew that I could easily do that. I knew that I was going to get that $16,000 back, even though it was going to be in the form of stock. That was better than nothing. And to me, that was kind of a retirement plan. So the Icon program was the first thing that caught my eye. And then the next thing was healthcare. At the time that I was looking, I was actually paying over $1,200 a month for the insurance. That's very high deductible, not very good coverage. My husband at the time was a 1099 employee as well. So we just didn't have good insurance, and we were paying so much money, but it wasn't really covering anything. So when I started looking at eXp's healthcare, my quote was actually, I think, almost $400 less than what we were paying, but way more coverage. So that was a really good thing to us, because we're basically throwing money away and not even going to the doctor because the deductible was so high. The next thing, as I mentioned before, I had got my Ohio license, so that the 2 states and having one cap and having only one company. So a lot of companies are independently owned and operated, whereas eXp is only one company with multiple different locations throughout the world. And so I loved that I could go in any state. I could go to 5 states and everything was only still going to go to that one cap. So I thought that was great. And having sold those 5 houses right away in Ohio, that really, and that at the time I wasn't at eXp yet. So I could have used those toward my cap, and that was one of the first kind of things that went off in my head, like, maybe I should look into eXp. The next thing was training. I have an education background. I'm the kind of agent that loves all the trainings. But also, when I did have agents with me, I was the one responsible for training them from scratch. So I had brand new agents. I would have to hold their hand for, 6 to 9 months sometimes. I would have to teach them everything I know alongside doing my full-time business that I had going for me. So the fact that eXp had trainings that would allow agents to still work with me, but they would be responsible for doing all their training online. And they had the mentor program that would help the brand new agents with their first 3 transactions. So that was really appealing to me, even though I wasn't really looking to bring a lot of agents. The fact that I could have agents, but I didn't have to train them, was a really good appealing factor to me, because I had trained several agents from scratch, and then right when they start doing well, they start selling houses, and then they would get recruited to all the big companies. And that happened multiple times. So it got to the be where I kind of didn't want any agents, working for me until they had experience, because I didn't want to spend all my time training them, and then when they know what they're doing, they leave. So that was the next thing that was really intriguing to me. Along with that, the fact that I was no longer going to be responsible for the agents under me, that was great, because I wouldn't be getting any phone calls about people. I wouldn't be responsible for what they do. So basically all the legal responsibility would now be on eXp and not me, but I could still have agents working under me. The next thing was saving some money. Now, some brokerages can come over to eXp and just get rid of their office location altogether. That would save a lot of money. In my case, I ended up keeping my office because I don't really pay a lot for it, and I thought that I could have agents work with me and still have an office location. But aside from that, I was spending money on these different marketing platforms, CRMs, websites, emails, just all kinds of things that I no longer had to pay for, that was now going to be provided by eXp. So you could save a ton of money, especially if you give up your branch location. The next thing that was appealing to me was the events. Like I said, love to go to training events and other events. So eXpCon and Shareholders were 2 of the events that eXp does yearly. And as part of the Icon program, I was going to get paid stock for going to those events. So I was really excited about that because being at my own brokerage a lot of time by myself, I did kind of feel alone. And so these events sounded really fun to me and, just something I normally wouldn't go to by myself. But now I had other agents that I could go with and go to trainings with, collaborate with, and things like that. The next thing literally blew my mind, and this was probably one of the big reasons that ultimately made me choose to go, the rev share program. When I started watching these videos about how much money you could make from rev share, I was mind blown. I was like, there is no way they're giving away that money. So now I could have agents work under me still. I could still get 3.5% of whatever they sell, and then obviously as the lines go down, you get more and more. My first year, I actually made over $5,000 in rev share, and I only had 4 agents under me. Only one of them was a capping agent. So that was really nice for me because I could still have agents, but I still get paid, but I'm not, the end all be all. I'm not the number one person that's teaching them, training them, helping them. If they need help, I can just now tell them where to go instead of me being the one to answer all the questions all the time. But the fact that when I saw how many people were making so much money from revenue share, it was crazy. And that's still, one of the big reasons that I'm here. So revenue share is amazing, and it goes down 7 levels, which is even better. The mentor program I mentioned previously, I decided to become a certified mentor. That was another way for me to get more money. So I love helping people. I usually help people anyways. And so I thought if I'm gonna do it anyways, I might as well get paid for it. So I joined the mentor program, and that's where I help the new agents with their first 3 transactions and helping them learn and navigate them through their first few sales, get them acquainted with all the, onboarding and all the paperwork and how we do things. I do get 10% for each mentor sale that I help with, so that was great. Which brings me to my deciding factor. What was the number one thing? Well, the reason I kept having doubts was because I kept feeling like I was giving up money, but it wasn't until I finally realized, my sponsor told me, like, you're actually gonna make more money. Think about it. You're gonna get that $16,000 back. It's gonna grow over time. Plus, you get all of your revenue share that starts over every year, and your mentor. So then when I started thinking about it that way, I realized, you're right, I actually could make more than 100%. And I did. So my first year at eXp, I did Icon. I got my $16,000 back in stock. That actually grew to more than $16,000. I made, I think, $5,500 in revenue share, just having 4 agents under me. And mentor program, I believe I had one closed mentor sale for about $1,200. So once I realized that I actually could make more money, and I realized how much that stock could grow over time, that was when I finally realized that this was the right choice. Like I said, I've now been at eXp for over 2 years. I've iconed both years. I now have 5 agents under me, and I am working on growing that to more agents. So hopefully you got something out of this video, especially if you are a small company or an independent owner thinking about making the move. If you have any questions at all about eXp, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have, and I will see you on the next video.